great to see you again. Now, in this episode, we'll be covering something that's inevitable to everyone's professional journey. And it basically requires transitioning through change and how we can manage those transitions better. Whenever you're dealing with a change in role, a change in technologies, a change in leadership, and having to manage new shifts and how to operate, these are things that we need to learn how to manage better constantly as we're evolving. So let's begin with our toolkits. To begin, it's very important when dealing with a transition to accept the changes that you're about to embark on. A lot of the time we feel more stressed because we're resisting the change and the transitions we're going through. It's important to give your mind the right job to do by training your brain to accept that change is on the horizon and that everything is happening to serve your growth and evolution instead of being a source to more stress. So to begin, we want you to focus the mind in the right way to be accepting and surrender to the changes that you're experiencing as you live your transitional cycles. When you're caught off by new changes and transitional cycles, it's very easy to also forget your why. So the second toolkit is all about being very clear with your goal setting, being aware of what your short-term and long-term goals are as you're embarking on a new change, but also very importantly, to pay attention to how all of these goals really make you feel, to make sure if it's relevant to what new cycle you're going into. So I encourage you to do this in a writing exercise where you have a journal, breaking down your short-term and long-term goals and paying attention to the feelings associated with all of them to see if they're still relevant to where you are moving into. Our next tool is all about prioritizing authentic communication. Now, it is so human and normal to feel fearful when you're navigating change, but it's also very important to be aware of how you're also discussing your fears with other people and doing so in a way that feels authentic to you, but not in a way where you're playing the victim to your life circumstances. I encourage you to open all lines of communication with your peers, your leaders, your bosses, and everything that's going to give you a sense of comfort, but doing so in a way where you recognize that you're not becoming a victim to the circumstances of change, but you're trying to seek clarity and also find more comfort in what's coming as everyone's trying to make sense of the same thing. It's very important to be aware of being authentic, but also grounded as you do this, so no one feels like they're being fueled by a fear-based environment. So pay attention to authenticity being led from a non-fear-based place. To conclude on navigating change, it's important to recognize that change is inevitable and it will always be a constant in our lives and in our professional worlds. So it's important to understand that you can always find new ways to build confidence and resilience whenever you're feeling challenged. And if you want more access to tools that can help you in your well-being process and finding this balance between your inner and outer world, please check out the CogniFit Corporate Wellbeing platform and see what else you can learn from all the content we're providing for you. Have a great rest of the day, and thank you for tuning with us today.